In the year 1972, this man right here invented the very first video game console known to mankind, simply named Brown Box. What the frick kind of name is that? Looks like a goddamn toaster. Anyway, in the 1980s, we got video game consoles like the NES. Then after that, we got the SNES with its 16-bit look, and to be honest, some of my favorite games are on this console to this date. Then after that, we got the Sega Genesis, trying to compete with Nintendo in their hilarious commercials.
I'll take Sonic and Genesis.
I knew that.
Sonic the Hedgehog, more action, more speed, Sega Genesis, it's all.
But despite this, we all know that video games have gotten a glow up over time. A massive one indeed. Have you seen some of the video games nowadays? They look like freaking... Bro, soon the graphics are gonna be so good they're just gonna freaking not use animation anymore. It's just, you know... Okay, wait. I mean, technically they did do that with the Detroit Become Human. It wasn't full animation, they did use motion capture, I think it's called. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is that video games have changed tremendously over time. I think I've said that before in my older videos. Anyway, to continue, after those 16-bit consoles, we got 3D, the jump to 3D, with the N64 and the Sega Dreamcast. Now, back in the 80s, games were simpler looking back then. They were all pixelated, and I kinda already mentioned this. But to be honest, I think games look a lot better like this. In my opinion, at least. I think pixelated games are really well developed, and the lengths the developers go to make their game look good in a pixelated form, now that really inspires me. But as the years passed into the 20th century, we kinda put that behind us, and now we want the more realistic looking graphics in the third dimension. And I don't blame them. It's new technology, sort of, if you get what I mean. And I'm not gonna lie, I like a few games that are in 3D, but I don't know what is it about those 2D games that I just love so much. And I think a lot of people might agree with me, but I just prefer the old 2D graphics. Alright, now let's get into two of my favorite games of all time. The Legend of Zelda, The Minish Cap, and Metroid Fusion. And also Mega Man 2, but we'll get into that later. So, as 2D games and Game Boy Advance games to begin with, how do they hold up? Surprisingly pretty well. These games, in the future, still look and sound amazing. One reason I love these games so much is just because of the graphics. Even though they're really old games, they still hold up, and I will be willing to play them again and again today. One reason I love Metroid Fusion today is because of the graphics and the sound, and also the music is really creepy. Same with the Minish Cap. Just look at the boss against the electric choo-choo. This looks great. Bro, I'm at a loss for words. I'm going off the script. Like, literally, I just love these games. So, what about Mega Man 2? You're like, look at that game. It's 8-bit. I mean, it's still a fun game, but how do you like the graphics in that game compared to 3D games? Now, I will admit, it's not the best looking game, but for an NES game, handles pretty well. I'll admit. What I'm trying to prove here is that even 8-bit games with enough effort can look amazing, and I'm going to prove it to you. Okay, so Mega Man 2, graphically speaking, isn't the best game in the world, but where's my proof that with enough effort, an 8-bit game can look good? Bam! This game created by Airdorf Games called Faith. This is a horror game made by Airdorf Games. Probably thinking to me, how can this game be good graphically? Now I'm about to tell you. This is how you make a good 8-bit game, graphically speaking. Yeah. Now, I'm not going to show all of the cutscenes because I do try to keep my videos pretty family friendly, and a lot of the cutscenes in this game are pretty graphic and disturbing. Okay, so here is the main point that I'm trying to get across. You don't need your game to look complex and realistic and all mishy-washy. As long as the game is fun to play, You know, this video seems just trash already. Like, everything I said is irrelevant, and everything I'm saying now is just contradicting everything I said in the past. So that's where I'm gonna end it. Yeah. By the way, I don't own any of the clips in this. I don't own any of the clips that I just used. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'm gonna go hang myself.